guys, welcome back to another 12 by 12 process video. This time I am using the Scraptastic kit from May 2015 and it is the Janglin kit, and I really like this kit. The colors and things in this kit are beautiful, just really nice pastel-y colors and airy, and reminds me of spring, so I thought I would do this layout to show you guys. The first thing I'm going to do, which I don't normally do, is the title, and I'm going to use the thickers and the little word tile stickers that came in the kit, and I'm going to spell out "Love is here to stay" with a combination, and you can kind of see me doing the combination of the two fonts here. And I kind of sped it up so you didn't have to watch me place all of that on the wax paper. And I like to use the wax paper especially for these longer titles, and then that way I can make sure it's going to fit the way I want it to on the page before I stick it down and have to peel it up. And this one can just move around until you get it to the place that you want it. So that is what technique I used for this layout. And this layout is pretty simple. I'm just going to be using this one photo in the center. I already mounted it on that bluish cardstock with the little flowers, hearts on it. And then I'm also going to mount it on this piece of paper, and I'm just using the grid lines to help me cut a straight line and just to add a little bit more layering to the background. Nothing too much. You can't really see too much. I just wanted to have a little bit more color here and there. So I'm going to be using, and sorry about the camera, I must have bumped it so I had to readjust it. I'm going to be using some clear gesso in the background because I am going to do some mixed media that I want to kind of sit on top of the paper instead of soak in too much. So this is clear gesso from Liquitex that I got from Michaels, and I'm just using one of my, like a hotel key card to smear that on the page. So I'm going to do this and smear it on, and then I'm going to dry it up with my heat gun. And then when I get done with that, I'll be able to start putting the sprays down, or not sprays, but the gelatos. So I'm going to use two colors of gelatos. This one is a blue color. I don't know the name of it. Some of them have names, and I think some of them don't. But I'm just going to add a little bit of water with my spray bottle and smush it around. I'm just using the packaging technique. Smushing it around, and then I'm going to put it down on the paper. And first I'm going to put, I think, my picture down just to make sure I know where I want this to go. And I want the blue kind of on both sides of where the picture is going to be, so it kind of makes a straight line across the entire page. And so once I'm happy with what that looks like, I am going to then move on to the pink, and first I will dry in between. I don't think show that because that's kind of boring to watch me dry things, but I'm going to dry that in between so that the colors don't get mixed together and get muddy. So I'm just kind of putting the splotches where I want, and when you use the gelatos you can kind of limit the amount of water that you add to them, and that is nice too, so that way you're not like dripping it on the page before you can even get it placed. It kind of allows you a little bit more control over where you want to put the color. So like I said, I just add a little bit of water, smush it around so I get all the little chunkies of the gelato mixed up, and then I place it on the page where I want it. And I just want a touch of pink. I wanted the blue to be a little bit more pronounced than the pink, so I'm going to add a touch of pink. And when I'm done drying it, I kind of blot it up just a little bit so it's not too dark. And I'm just now figuring out if that's going to work. So I end up getting the picture down, and because I put that gesso down, it doesn't always stick very well on, especially the clear for some reason. So I decided to pull my hot glue gun out and stick it down, and then that way I know it's sticking. It seems like when I use the white gesso, it doesn't seem to have as much of a problem, but the clear gesso is very gritty, so I find that gluing it with my hot glue gun is the best option. And what I do is I make sure that I'm not gluing it down the picture, so I don't put the hot glue on the picture itself. I put the hot glue on the paper, so there's a layer of paper between the picture, because I try to be as archival safe as possible. I want these to kind of last for the long time, and so that's why I try to kind of be conscious of that kind of thing, because I'm pretty sure the plastic hot glue is not archival safe. And I did have a lot of bowing of the paper from drying it. I think sometimes when you do the drying with a heat tool instead of letting it air dry, it does have a tendency to bow more than if you just let it air dry, or at least that's what I've found. So that's just kind of a tip. I'm too impatient and I want to keep scrapbooking, so I don't want to have it sitting there drying while I'm doing other things, especially when I'm at a crop or something like that. So I tend to use my heat tool, and so I think I get a little bit more bowing because of that. So here are a bunch of die cuts that came in the kit. These are from Pink Fresh Studios, and they are so cute. They're very sketchy looking, and they have these gold accents, and they're really pretty. And I apologize for the glare. It is a bit glary because there is some foiling on the photos, not photos, on the die cuts. And then There's a bit of glare on the picture as well. Sometimes it's hard to set up the lamp so that it doesn't have that glare. And sometimes the glare doesn't show up when I'm watching or when I'm scrapbooking, but then when I'm looking at the video, it shows up. So I try to avoid that and check in the viewfinder, but sometimes I don't always get that glare off. So I apologize for that. Now I'm just kind of going through my stash trying to figure out what I want to use. This little strip of paper, I wanted to have a little anchor. I felt like some of the things I was trying to put at the bottom of the photo were kind of floating away a little bit. So I found this strip of paper, and it is from the branding strip, and it has little pink hearts on it, and it's adorable. And I thought this is perfect. It has like a whiter color, so it kind of pops off the page more than blend in, and I like that look. So I ended up putting that banner and this ampersand down, and the ampersand I'm just going to stick down with my ATG gun, and the banner I'm going to pop up on some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, which I've already put on the back. So I'm just going to peel those off and then pop that up, and I just kind of like that added dimension that it gives. And I'm using my tweezers so that my fingers don't get in the way. I'm going to put more pop dots on this little cloud, and the thickers are kind of foam, and so they stick up a little bit, and that's why I wanted that dimension. I wanted the cloud to kind of cover up the bottom left hand corner of the L, just to kind of look like that title is kind of more tucked in and part of the layout than sitting kind of on top of the picture like it does before I put the cloud. This is just little vellum triangles. I had trimmed it down. I think there was 6 little triangles altogether, and I thought it was too many, so I trimmed it down, and I am just using my little Xyron sticker maker to put the adhesive on. And when you do that, it actually puts a real thin layer of adhesive throughout the whole back, and with it being vellum, you don't actually see any of the dots or the glue runner or anything like that. So I highly recommend using the Xyron sticker maker when you are doing vellum and clear stickers. And I just used my powder tool because part of that was sticking off. I didn't want it sticking to the page, so I just put a little bit of the powder tool on the very last triangle on the left. And that way it kind of takes the stickiness off. So now I'm just trying to figure out what else I want to do. I'm going to add this Opal Sea Oats. This is from Lindy's Stamp Gang. I absolutely love Lindy's Stamp Gang products. I haven't bought any in a long time. I'm trying to be good. I have a lot of mist in my stash, but I really, really like their spray inks. They come in a powder form, and then you add water when they come in the mail, or if you just buy them at the store. Some retailers do sell them. I love them. They are gorgeous. They have ones that are shiny and flat and different colors and things like that. Very, very large variety. So if you have not checked out Lindy's Stamp Gang, I would definitely check them out. And this is pretty much it. I'm just going to add the date here on the page, and that is going to be all for the page. I'm going to show you some close-ups, and there's some pictures at the end. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe today. And if you have questions about anything I did in the layout, or just anything you want to chit-chat about, let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And I guess that's about it. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.